externalities are utility and how consumers react to make decisions. So there's some really good videos here at Khan Academy. I recommend watching this video from Khan Academy for consumer surplus. Solomon does a great job explaining what consumer surplus is. Producer surplus too, positive externalities, negative externalities. They're the best videos out there. I highly recommend them. Now let's go through consumer surplus. So think of a time you last purchased a product and you thought you received a great deal. In monetary terms, this would mean the price you paid was actually less than what you thought or would be willing to pay. So for instance, 5 years ago, a 50-inch big screen plasma TV would cost around $5,000. Person who purchased that TV 5 years ago may be in the market for an updated TV. Using the relationship of the price paid 5 years ago, the person may be very surprised the prices have actually decreased substantially. The economic impact is that the equilibrium price is at a higher point than what the actual price tag of the TV is. So as more units of a good is produced, consumers are willing to pay less. So yeah, so with, let's say, for instance, a particular winter jacket increased price from $200 to $250, consumers are willing to pay the $250. But if it goes on sale for 50% off, the consumer surplus would be a lot higher. So if you pay less for something than full price, you get a higher consumer surplus because you're getting more value out of it per dollar. That's why finding low cost options is better, because you're going to get more value out of it. Producer surplus. So basically with producer surplus, it's for sellers. So they want to charge the highest price possible, and the higher the price they charge, then the higher the producer surplus is. So it's basically the same as profit. It's what they take home at the end of the day after they sell the product. Externalities. So a negative externality, it's usually related to, for example, pollution. So if something's produced and it causes negative societal costs, then it's a negative externality. So pollution would be an example of that. Anything that would cause damage to society. Positive externality would be something like education, where it provides a positive impact to society above the positive impact to the student. The benefit of education is that it benefits the student through increased skills and training. Also benefits society because there's more civility and people follow laws better and they have something to do, so they're not on the streets all day and causing trouble. So that's one of the big benefits of education, is that it causes better societal advantages. Consumer behavior and choice. So the demand curve, it shows the amount of demand for a certain product or service. So if people get more satisfaction out of a product, then there'll be more of the good purchased at the prevailing price. So people will buy more if they're happier with the product. So learning activities, I recommend doing the textbook questions for Module 7. The textbook questions are the best source of practice for this course. Highly recommend completing all the textbook questions and do the MindTap activities. MindTap is an excellent resource, excellent practice. So those are the recommended ways to be successful. And then do discussion 2. So for discussion 2, you have to describe personal experience of when you purchase a product or service whereby you maximize surplus as a consumer and why this qualifies as being an example of consumer surplus. State the personal experience, talk about why it's an example of consumer surplus, and then talk about why it results in a positive externality and why, from the economist's viewpoint, this would be considered market inefficiency. So talk about that and respond to 2 of your classmates' postings at least, and make sure you follow the rubric. So that's what's coming up here. And yeah, those are the things that are coming up for Module 7.